In today's video, we continue work on Upper OPL. All right, so we're back working on OPL. This is about halfway down. We lined up some rocks here. There was a couple of big boulders. Actually, this big boulder right past that sawed log where Logan's standing on was in that spot. And we had a tree right along our line, so we're like, well, if we can cut out the tree enough to ride that, maybe we can build up some other rocks. And rolled a few things down from higher up on the hill and got a little bridge because this is the natural runoff for this drainage right here. So it was kind of soppy and a mess underneath there. So this creates a nice little bridge. And then if Logan steps to the side, there we go. The trail continues down there. And you drop into a little rock garden that then feeds up into a nice drop that hasn't been built yet, but it's there. And then the little section that Logan likes to call the Jungle Cruise, because he and I worked on some rock features down below, and there was lots of bushy trees all around us, like a jungle. So he thought it would be a good name for that little part of Upper OPL to call it Jungle Cruise.
Dad?
Yeah.
Was this tree connect? Was that tree?
Yeah, this was part of that tree. That was the middle part between them.
Oh. Do you still have the GoPro on?
Yeah.
And we'll see you there. They have something in them that helps.
If you take your guts out, you can.
I wonder what's in their guts.
Their poop?
Oh, is that what's in our guts?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Went off the little rock bridge that we just talked about. Logan, give a wave. Point at the rock bridge. Show me where it's at. Little rock bridge on that soggy spot. Coming down, this will start to feed into a little bit of a rock garden. It's on a very steep side slope. I'll bench cut right up to here, and then you have a this will be pretty chunky. I'm trying to dislodge a few of the higher rocks, bring them down, and this will be feed you right into the big drop. So I figured I'd document this before I get it done so you can see the before and after. All right, so here's what we ended up for this real tricky off-camber section. That was chunky. Hey, dude, you're kind of in the line of the trail, thanks. So yeah, we this is a lot of medium to large size rocks that we could dislodge, which is great for building trails. Too small and they don't stay in place. Too large and you can't move them. So we were able to get a few really big rocks, like this one right here. We took from just spot up on the hill and kind of rolled it down. Slightly treacherous, but we got it to the right spot. And then the nice thing about that is that is actually the point where you're coming off of a very steep section, and it gives you a very solid base to kind of line up for this little chunky part right here where we stacked rocks. Kind of the approach here is to put like some large base rocks, get them into the ground so they're like a solid base, and then you can kind of build on top of those. And you kind of build a layer, and then you kind of jump on it and move it and see if it's wiggly, and you shove different size rocks in there. So it's kind of a little bit of puzzling in rock pieces, and sometimes they settle and you have to rework them a little bit, but that's the beginning of it, at least. And so that'll feed right through here, and then you would drop from this point. The B line is through these two boulders here, this split between the boulders. And then the A line, you can see I stacked a few rocks up here that I'll build a run in. So you can run up, get up on this rock, and it'll be the drop down here. Then I got to build the transition for the drop. And then we'll come down this little chute right here. And that is what Logan started calling the Jungle Cruise, because you go in and out of a bunch of low-growing, I believe they're buckeye trees. I think that's what these are. And so it feels like you're in a jungle. So kind of a fun little section. We'll probably put a sign up because Logan worked really hard on helping me get rocks in place and figuring out where we're going to put the trail. Didn't you, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Kind of getting close to sunset here. Another nice spot on the ranch to get a good view.
Dad,
Yeah.
are we gonna make a berm right here?
Yeah, so as Logan just said, he asked if we're going to make a berm here because he knows that when you got a lot of speed coming off a drop, without a berm, you're going to end up in that rock pile over there. So yeah, so what'll happen is we'll put a transition for the drop where you land, and then a run out for a little bit straight because jumping right into a berm is not great. And then we'll hit a berm that'll feed us down the hill there. And then there's a bunch of rocks going down there that we can probably build some fun features on as well.
Can you hold this?
There's looking up at the drop. So you'll be coming off and you'll land over here up on the hill. Like I said, you'll have probably 10-12 feet of straight run out, and then we'll dig a big berm that comes right up, tucks under here, comes right where my feet are. And I'll point this down a little bit. And we'll come right through here. And then we'll build up some dirt right here so we can hit this rock and create a transition on the other side of that rock. And then there'll be a ride around here. If you're not feeling like hitting that kind of semi-scary feature. Alright, so a steep little section right here, feeds into the little rock bridge, comes into a rock garden, and then this may look like it was already here, but this was a ton of moving rocks. This was about 4 hours of work, this 40 feet of trail. Then it flattens out, get yourself equipped to go off the drop here, and then you drop. Oh, yep, not as good without a bike, I'm hoping. And then you come around the berm, and then fun stuff to be built in the future. I'm standing at the landing for the takeoff for this rock, and then there's the berm. It's pretty significant, but it's tight. It's somewhat tight. There's the landing for the drop. You can see, let me see if I can get it a little closer on that drop. It's probably just short of 5 feet from the top to where you land, the top of the landing. There you are. Thanks for watching. In the next video, I'll give this drop a test run, so tune in to see that. And that's the dirt.